Hello, everybody. It is the long-awaited date that I've had many people asking for, which is a tour of my kitchen. I thought we would start on the outside, which is why you're seeing this beautiful barn door behind me. It is gorgeous. I absolutely love seeing this door every time I come down to the basement. So let's get to it. Why delay? So this is what I come to when I go to work. This is my rec room. You can see. But I come down the stairs and we go in here. So let's go take a look in the kitchen. I'm gonna flip this around because I'm sure you guys all don't want to look at me the entire time. So when I walk in, actually let's look at me for just a minute because I want to say just how much planning came into this, right? So this was a lot of time. This used to be our office and a powder room. And I had joked one day that I was going to take over the powder room. Which, are you kidding me? Like, that was literally, I'll show you the space. Where this corner is up here, like there was a wall across, and that was the powder room. So there's no way that I could have just survived in that space alone. It just wouldn't have happened. So I took over the whole space, and thankfully my husband's great, and he didn't really put up much of a fight for that because he knew that I needed it in order to grow the business and to get licensed and all that good stuff. So let's get to it. So like I said, this is the back of my beautiful barn door. So when I come in here, I have a whiteboard. So a lot of times, like, I'll write a lot of stuff on there. I am very proud of my health and safety inspection. So that goes there. My business license. I like to be reminded of those things. I keep this little tower here. It's full of just a bunch of like random whatevers. Hey everyone, thanks for jumping on. There's, cookie cutters and fake florals I have in there. There's some silicone molds, different things. This is my big ugly sink. I'm sure that you all would love to have one of these in your kitchens. It was something that I had to have. So here in Ontario, Canada, where I live, at the time, or when this was getting done, you had to have a kitchen like this in order to have a legal home bakery. Now they've made different rules, and they're more like the US, which has cottage law, which means that you can bake certain foods in your regular home kitchen. And, oh, by the way, it's Tuesday Tips and Tea. I forgot to do that introduction. I don't have tea, though, tonight. I have water because I've already drank 3 teas, and I don't need another one today. But anyway, so you can bake certain low-risk foods in your kitchen. But because I do things like edible cookie dough, right, and cheesecake, those are not low-risk foods. So, or no-bake cheesecake, they're not low-risk foods. I would have had to have done something like this anyways, and that's totally okay with me. But anyways, one of the rules is that you have to have a sink that's big enough to bury your biggest thing in. So essentially, like, this pan is pretty much the biggest thing that I use other than the mixing bowls. So I got to be able to fill the sink to cover that in water. So you have to have that, and then you have to have a hand washing sink. So now that the super boring stuff's out of the way, one of the big problems when I created this kitchen was figuring out how I could have my dishes, right? When I wash the dishes, what am I going to do with them? So I was able to find a quick solution through Amazon with these racks, which are amazing. I love them. We'll go over here. So I have just some extra food that's stored in this cupboard. See, cheesecake cones, Oreos, some sour keys, just some overages of food. My amazing sign that was made for me by Countryway Rustic Designs. I love that sign, and sometimes I'll take it to the markets with me. And then we go around, and this cabinet for this double stove was probably the biggest pain in the butt. Thankfully, I was able to find somebody who custom built it for me, which was really awesome. It was a pain to get in here and get set up, and my husband most definitely threw his back out getting the stove into here with the guy. So it took him a few days to recoup from that, but it happened. So it's my double stove. I really like it. It under here houses all of my pans. You can see that there's a whole bunch in there that pretty much always has drying dishes in it. Up top, I keep my drying racks, my cupcake pans. I use these ice cream cone things for my cheesecake waffle cones to hold them when I fill them. All my macaron mats. And then I have this pantry here, which I love. So up top, you can see I keep some cake boxes. I have a mini food processor. I really think it's time for me to probably get a full-size food processor because I've worn that one out a couple times. This is my edible printer, which I love. So I can print all of the edible images. I keep all my extras for it in here. So these are my paper, my ink cartridges, my refills. And then I have my labels that I use in here. So I have these amazing Cake Care cart instruction labels that I made a couple months ago. And I just keep everything in there so I can grab them really easily. This is like the only really random drawer in this kitchen. And it just has like some things that I use a lot of, but they all don't belong to different things. They all don't belong to their own category. This has all cupcake holders, my apple sticks. This, we keep going down. We've got some sweet stamps, which are like embossing letters and things, a bunch of food coloring powders. And then this is probably my a notification on my phone there, and it was causing this to blank out. So if my kids knew about this drawer, this would be their favorite drawer because it's just full of candy. So it's everything that I use for my breakable cakes, all my smashers, they go in there. Let's keep going. We'll get to the most exciting side of the kitchen. So fridge, not too exciting. Storage rack, this is where I keep all my excess like food, or my excess things like, so all my sugar is there, my flour, my chocolate, my sugar bin that's down there because I buy the really, really big bins. And then we'll get to my favorite part of the kitchen, which is just like every time I share this in a baking group or anybody sees it, I get tons and tons of compliments and questions on this. So it took me a while to figure out how I was going to store all of this stuff. I knew I was going to need to do it in a pegboard solution system somehow. And thankfully I found this at IKEA. I highly, highly recommend it. It is amazing. I totally love it. And you can see just how much storage I get from this like wall and a half of everything that's there. So I keep all of my molds up there. There's tons of sprinkles. There's paintbrushes. There's my scale. Like that's the thing I probably use the most. You know, all my cake scrapers, my spatulas, food colorings are all there. Mats, knives, these are like knives, forks, spoons, more small spatulas, all of this different stuff. So that's probably my favorite spot in here just because of how well organized it is. These drawers are all just like different ingredients. So this drawer has like a bunch of bowls, my extra mixing bowls. This has some all-purpose flour, my icing sugar is in there, fondant. This cupboard, when you pull it out, it's got all of my silicone molds in it. I wish that I had a better way to store them. I haven't found a better way to store them yet. We got piping bags and parchment paper and stuff in there. My amazing Lazy Susan down here, which this houses a bunch of my other ingredients. So there's sprinkles and extra food coloring, and all my crisp pearls, my peanut butter, like a whole ton of different ingredients are stored down in that cupboard. I probably use that cupboard probably more than anything else in here. So let's keep going. We're almost there. Microwave, and because I don't have a stove, I use one of these burners that just plugs in. So when I need to make something like strawberry reduction or my raspberry sauce or whatever, I just open that up and use it. This has, the top shelf is where I keep all like extra chocolate that's been melted. The middle drawer is full of tons of extra sprinkles. And the bottom drawer is all like the chocolate stuff that I will put on all the chocolate topped cakes. So the ones that are covered in Reese peanut butter cups and Kinder Surprises and all those different chocolates, that's all in the bottom drawer. And then we have this beautiful Ninja oven. I invested in that a few months ago because I needed something just for making macarons. Because as much as I love this oven, the temperature will fluctuate, sometimes 5 degrees, 10 degrees, and that's really, really bad for macarons. You need something super, super consistent. So I bought this because it's smaller, it'll be more consistent, and I can get a more consistent bake with my macarons. Out here, that's my rec room. So that if I am working in here and my husband's sitting out there with the kids, that I can just kind of look out there and watch them. And then Yeah, this is just kind of storage for like some extra bits and bobs and, you know, some string for tying up boxes and some boxes and more cake boards and bags. And then this is great. I have a sit stand desk in here. So if I need to do really fine details on a cake, I will lift it up and it brings the cake more to my level. I have a thermal printer in the cabinet with my edible printer, and then I have another thermal printer that I use out here. This is what those big cake labels were printed on, and I make all these little pink ones too. It's really, really nice. And then my laptop that swivels so I can always be able to watch and see all the different things that, like, keep track with my Excel spreadsheet. So that's it. That's the super exciting kitchen tour. Whether you are a client who has just really wanted to see my space, or if you're another baker who is looking for ideas for your space, I hope that you found this something that will help you. I really, really like this space, and I definitely outgrew it pretty much right away in terms of like everything's full, right? I make use of everything. I could probably have taken over our entire basement. But I love this space. I love the purple color. It's such a bright color to come in to every day. So that's it. Thank you guys for joining me for another Tuesday Tips and Tea. Next week, I'll probably have the tea again. And I'll let you guys know. Next week, I'm going to talk about, I think I'm going to talk about some of my favorite places to buy some of my supplies at. So we'll talk then. Okay, bye.